everyone and welcome back to another Pretty Ugly video. Today I'm going to be doing wedding guest hair, makeup and outfit options. So for makeup we're going to be doing what I'm wearing now, which is just quite soft, bronzy, natural makeup. No smoky eyes, no bright lipsticks. For hair, I'm going to be doing these kind of soft, loose, tousled waves. And then for outfits, two different alternatives. One quite pretty and one cooler. Okay, so I'm going to kick off with the makeup then. I've already prepped my skin just to speed things up a little bit. I have just put on a base layer. First up, for moisturiser, I've used the This Works In Transit Camera Close-Up, which is apparently a mask, moisturiser and primer in one. I'm just using it as a moisturiser and primer. I am then going on to use my favourite product that I always rave about, and that is the By Terry. Considering how much I use this, you'd think I'd know the name off by heart, but it is a long name. It's the By Terry Cellular Rose Brightening CC Serum, and I'm using this in the Bronze Sunny Flash shade. And I just put that on with my hands. Foundation, I've prepped my skin with, again, a product I always rave about, the YSL Touche Éclat Le Tint Foundation, and I am wearing shade B40, which actually has made me look quite pale. So I need to go up a shade in this now that I have a little bit of a tan. But that's all I've done so far. So I am going to add some bronzer. I'm going to use the Charlotte Tilbury, I don't know what this is called. I think it's, Charlotte Tilbury Beach Stick. And I'm using this in the Ibiza shade. Now this is just a really creamy bronzer. And I'm just going to literally wipe this on and then just blend it in with my beauty blender. I'm then going to start eyes and finish off with skin afterwards. So I've prepped my eyes with the By Terry, and I really struggle with saying this word, Hyaluronic Eye Primer. Now this is just, it's like this, and you literally just wipe it on and blend it in with your finger. I have then gone on to prep my eyes already with, this probably sounds weird, but with a blusher. Now this is the RMK Face Pop Creamy Cheeks in number 2. And it looks like this. And I'm just putting this on. I've put some on already, and I'm not sure if you can see this. It's just quite sheeny. I'm going to put a little bit more on with my finger first, all over my eyelid. And then I'm going to go over and put some on with the brush, just because this picks up even more product. Right, I am then going to go over that blusher on my eyelids with the Gwen Stefani Urban Decay palette. And I'm using the Harajuku shade, which is this pink one here. Now, I realise this looks like a revolting shade. Sorry, Gwen. But it's actually really, really good for weddings, I think. Especially for a wedding guest. I feel like makeup should be quite subtle. Nothing too over the top. Definitely not a smoky eye. And this is just quite pretty and girly. So this is the colour I'm using today. Again, all over my lids. I'm then going to go in just on the outer corners of my eyes with the Pixi It's Judy Time palette. And the two shades that I'm going to be using are these two diagonal ones here, which I think are called Brick and Ping. And I'm literally just using these on the outer corners. And then I'm just going to run the same two colours underneath my lash line on the bottom. Okay, so that's eyeshadow done. I'm then going to go in with a liquid liner. This is the Kat Von D tattoo liner. Now with this, I don't really want the line to be visible. I'm literally just keeping it right tight to the lash line. And this is really just to thicken up your lashes. It just gives the illusion of slightly blacker lashes, really. So yeah, it's just a really thin line. I'm not flicking it either. I'm then going over the top of the liquid liner with the Burberry Eye Colour Contour, and this is in the shade Stone Grey. And what I'm doing with this is just tracing over where I've done the liquid liner. This is just a really kind of smudgy kohl. And then I'm just going to go in and smudge that even more just along the lash line. Okay, and then lastly for eyes, I am just going to go in with mascara. Now I have currently got lash extensions on. These were fitted by So Me in Clapham in London, and they were brilliant. They're really, really natural ones, which actually, if I were going to have lash extensions for a wedding, I would definitely go here again because these are the most natural ones I've ever had. So I'm only going to apply mascara on the bottom lashes. And for mascara, I am using the one I've been using for quite a while now, which is Guerlain's Maxi Lash, I think. And this is the Maxi Lash So Volume, and this is obviously the black shade. Okay, so going back to skin, I'm now going to use a powder just to kind of set the creamy makeup in place before I add any powders on top. I'm going to use the By Terry Hyaluronic Hydra Powder. And although this looks really white, it's totally transparent. And this is probably the finest powder I've ever used. You can't really tell that it's on your skin. And I'm just using a really big fluffy brush for this. And then going on top of that with a bronzer. Now I've got a new favourite bronzer at the moment. It is quite a new one. Again, it's by Terry. Sorry, I am not, being paid by Terry for this video. I just happen to love a lot of her makeup at the moment. But this is the new Sun Designer palette. This is, I believe, shade 3, Tropical Sunset. And it looks like this. And I am just blending all the shades together for the bronzer. And don't forget to do your neck. I always say this, but it is my pet hate when people don't put bronzer or foundation onto their neck. I'm not using the blusher shades from this palette though, because they are quite bright. Okay, so lastly for the face, I've got blusher and highlighter to do. Now I'm going to go in first of all with a cream highlighter, and the best one I've discovered recently is by Next, believe it or not, and it's their Make Me Beautiful makeup range, and this is the Stardust Glow. It's really easy to use. It's just a stick like this, and you just wipe it on in kind of a V shape, and then just blend it with your finger. Okay, so that's highlighter done. As you can see, it is quite glowy. I don't even know if I'm in the light here. I think I am. And lastly, blusher. For this, I'm using another Pixie product. This is the glowy powder in Rome Rose, and this is very, very glowy. You really don't need much of this. And then lastly, I'm just going to finish off the makeup with lipstick and lip gloss. So for lipstick, I'm using the NYX, again, another NYX product, and this is their Better Than Bare matte lipstick. I've already got some lip balm on, by the way, which I think you should always use before a really matte lipstick. Now this shade, I think, is quite a good dupe for the MAC Velvet Teddy. Slightly paler, but the finish is similar. And I'm just going to do, lastly, a little bit of lip gloss on the top, just because it's for a wedding. And this is, again, an RMK product, but I don't actually know what it is. I think it's all in Japanese, so it's some sort of double-ended lip gloss, and I'm using the brownie shade. Okay, so that's the makeup done. I am now going to show you what I would do for the hair. Okay, so hair then. I mean, as you can see, I have already prepped my hair. I curled it last night. I prefer kind of next day waves because they're just much softer, but I'm going to show you how I did this and just go over a couple of sections as well. So I'm using, as always, the GHD tong, and how I always curl my hair is getting kind of, you know, fairly small sections and always curling generally away from your face. So angling the tong down and starting at the top and going downwards. And because I want loose waves, I'm only holding it for like 6 to 8 seconds and then kind of yanking it out. Okay, so once you've finished tonging, don't be afraid to brush out the waves. I'm using a tangle teaser for this, but you can really brush them out quite a lot. And then I'm going to just set the waves with a hairspray. I'm using the Bumble & Bumble Strong Finish. If I can get it out. Okay, so after hairspraying it, if you're anything like me and has a particularly round face, then I always like to put a bit of volume through the roots just to counteract that. So for that, I am using the L'Oreal Professional Wild Stylers Next Day Hair. Now this is brilliant. It's kind of like a texturizer / dry shampoo / volumizer. And I just apply this in layers throughout the roots. And as you can see the difference, it's quite substantial. You can also add a little bit of height at the crown just with a back combing brush. So for this, I'm literally picking up a section and just back combing like this, and then just smooth over. And then lastly, sorry, I realise I'm coating my hair in product today, but for a wedding, it needs to stay all day. So I'm using some Beach Wave, again by L'Oreal, and this is just their Wild Stylers Beach Waves. And I'm just spraying this. You can either spray it into your hand, because this is really for wet hair, or just spray it right into the ends and kind of scrunch it up. And that just gives a slightly messier finish to the ends and just helps the wave stay in as well. Okay, so hair and makeup done. I'm now going to move on to the 2 outfit alternatives for a wedding guest. The outfit number 1 is from ASOS. This is an ASOS maxi dress, and I'm wearing it with white Next shoes and a white Next bag. Outfit number 2 is a jumpsuit from Lovers and Friends. This is available also at ASOS, and again I'm wearing it with the white Next bag and the white Next shoes. Okay, so that is the end of my wedding guest hair, makeup and outfit tutorial. Hopefully you enjoyed watching it. Please leave me any feedback in the comments box below and don't forget to subscribe.